Alrighty boys, welcome back to another video. So this week was a pretty good week, I would say. We ended up taking some pretty good setups. There were like not that many setups across the week though. Because of only going for A+ setups, I ended up taking fewer trades this week. I think I'm being pretty good with the consistency though, because I'm just waiting for those A+ setups to come. Not every day had proper confirmation or confluences to get me into a setup, and I think like just maintaining the patience to wait for every component of the trade to come together, that is something that's really good, because I think me before I would have rushed as soon as I saw the first component of the trade, like the first criteria of the trade being met. So I think that's a very good improvement that I've grown on. So yeah, I think pretty good week this week. Started off the funded pretty well, and yeah, let's just get straight into this week's trades. Alrighty boys, so for today we did have a 4 hour plus 1 hour fair value gap overlap on the high time frame, and it also overlaps with the hourly premium range. We did sweep out internal liquidity, creating a higher resistance strong liquidity to base a potential setup off of. Because of all these confluences, I do feel a bit bearish, and we are traveling bullish on the low time frame though, which conflicts with the high time frame. And I'm just going to wait for price to align a bit more before going for any setup, because yeah, right now with price being so unaligned on the high time frame and low time frame, it makes it quite improbable. And I ended up finding my entry a little while later. I waited for the 15-minute candle to form for more confirmation, and we got a shift lower from that form, which also confirms the 15 plus 5-minute IFVG and a 1-minute shift. And I entered off of that 1-minute shift. Price ended up running pretty well initially, and we got another 1-minute shift lower, which is where I topped up my contracts. And price was stalling out as soon as I entered my extra contract, but price pushed lower to secure us a nice win. So yeah, an overall good day today. I held good patience waiting for a 15-minute candle to form for more confirmation, and the trade just overall had really good confluences and good targets. So yeah, it's just a nice A+ setup for today. So ended up with a nice quick trade, so it's a good way to start off the week. This is just me doing a little recap on Tuesday, this for the 16th of December. Usually I don't trade Tuesdays because of I'm not that great on Tuesdays, so I try to avoid it the best I can, but I'm just doing some analysis to see if there's potential for me to take Tuesday trades in the future. And having a look at the high time frame, we do have some conflicting biases. So we do have a inverse 1 hour fair value gap and a 1 hour order block for bullish, and we hit the golden zone or discount zone of this range as well on the hourly, which makes me feel pretty bullish. But on the 4 hour, we do have a 4 hour fair value gap, which kind of, you know, blocks that down. And you can see on the 15-minute, we ended up getting a push down into the golden zone, which also created a new higher resistance strong liquidity, because this wick wasn't here before, and we ended up hitting this target over here. But if I look on the 5-minute, I would have waited for probably the order block to form if I were to take this setup. And 1 minute, let's see, it formed, but then yeah, it was a weak retest and it was a really close target, so the risk to reward would not have been the greatest. It would have been like selling this. Yeah, so that's not the cleanest. I probably wouldn't have taken this. I would have gone for something further, and you see we did get stopped out in the end. So yeah, for today it was a good thing that I avoided trading for today, because I also saw like a barcode movement, so it's a good thing that I didn't end up hopping on for today, because yeah, it would have been a big doozy, you know. So yeah, that's about it for this analysis. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Alright boys, so for today we do feel a bit bearish, because the high time had a 4 hour order block plus a 1 hour fair value gap overlap, and we did retest into this, and this was also overlap with the hourly premium zone too, so it was very similar to what happened on Monday. And we did sweep out an internal draw on liquidity, which created a high resistance draw on liquidity, which could be our stop loss for today. And we do have some bullish confluences though, like a newly formed 4 hour order block, which does conflict with the bias though. On the low time frame, we are showing some bearish signs as well, with a 15 plus 5-minute order block and a 15-minute inverse. I do feel pretty confident because the low time frame is aligned pretty well with the high time frame, and yeah, it's just overall aligning really well for the sales in my opinion, but I want to wait for a bit more confirmation. And I ended up finding my entry pretty quickly, as we ended up getting that confirmation with a 5-minute inverse fair value gap formation from a shift, and that shift I entered off of, and I ended up getting a pretty bad risk to reward initially. I wanted to drag my stop loss down to make it a positive risk to reward, but I figured that, you know, it's better to keep my original stop loss that I wanted for this trade rather than just making it positive just cause out of emotion. So I ended up keeping it at in the negatives, which was alright because I was only in for about one contract. We did chop around for a little bit, but we got a shift lower where I then topped up my contracts and then I showed my stop. And I could have entered for a bit more contracts, but we were really close to market open, which is why I didn't end up entering that much. We did get a nice push down, but we did miss my break-even point by 0.5 pips like twice, so that was pretty crazy. But yeah, we ended up hitting the break-even point, so I moved to break-even, and we hit our TP shortly after for a smaller win for today. And yeah, for today, so the mistake for today was just overall just risking a little bit less, in my opinion, because the setup was A+. I did trust the system, but yeah, it was just my risk calculation was a bit off because I only made around 140 today, which is, it doesn't count towards the 5-day win requirement for the payout, which does suck, but I think it's alright. I'll just consider it as building up the buffer. It is my own mistake though, so yeah, I can't really do much about it. I'm not gonna, you know, like I'm not gonna scalp like 10 bucks because like that could just easily make me spiral as well, so not gonna risk that. Alrighty boys, so for today we do seem to be pretty bearish yet again. We have a 4-hour plus 1-hour order block along with the hourly premium zone, which price had just retested into, and we didn't have any internal draws on liquidity on the high time frame though, and we are getting some current bullish moves. On the low time frame, we didn't have any bearish confluences either, so I wanted to wait for price to align a bit more. Maybe low time frame moves bearish, so then high time frame, low time frame is aligned. Maybe something like a 15-minute fair value gap getting inverse. That would probably convince me to get into a setup. And if price doesn't align, then I most likely won't go for a setup today. And we ended up waiting for a while. Price dropped around for a long time, and there was a real lack of volume today. I just sat there and waited for a very long time, and we didn't end up confirming the move. We ended up disrespecting an hourly imbalance, and we moved higher. And from there, I just hopped off for today because my move that I was initially looking at didn't play out. So yeah, I waited patiently for confirmation, and I didn't force anything when it didn't come, which is really good. I am happy with the patience that I'm maintaining, and I'm just gonna keep being consistent with that patience to wait for good setups. Alrighty boys, welcome back to another recap. So I ended up falling asleep today again around like 10 minutes before my analysis time, which really sucks. I don't know how that honestly happened because I kind of just blacked out. So yeah, I think it's the past few days of like 3 to 4 hours sleep catching up to me. So it's not very ideal. But yeah, for the analysis today, we have Titanium 4-hour plus 1-hour order block. It's holding pretty well. But we didn't sweep out the internal drop on liquidity though, so there was like some confluences conflicting with this bullish bias that I overall had today. And yeah, I think we had some, if we look on the 1-hour, we had like a 1-hour IFG to the south side, and then yeah, the LRL as well. And on the left hand room, the 15-minute just had an order block, and the 5-minute also had an order block which held, and then the 5-minute order block was also overlapped to the 5-minute highlight golden zone, so it was overall pretty clean. I would say that it was a pretty good confluence to get us into the setups because we had a 1-minute inverse at market open, and then we could have just entered at market open and rode it up to the -1 or even -2 extension. That's a pretty clean trade. Would have been pretty decently quick, I would say. Maybe like 13 minutes. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it's just like would have entered and then we would have consolidated for a little while. So it would have been a break-even trade in the end, which is, I mean, it's pretty all good too. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate because the only thing that stopped me from taking the trade today was just me falling asleep, which is just my mistake again. That is really annoying. Honestly, like this, I don't know how I can like realistically live if I keep trading at 3 AM. This shit fucking sucks, dude. I'll just leave it there. So yeah, that ends off the trades for this week. Alrighty boys, so that's about it for this week. Ended up with a pretty good week this week. We took some pretty nice green days on Monday and Wednesday. Ended up not taking any subs on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is alright. Friday was more of like a 50-50 because like I know like I should have been awake for that setup, but yeah, I ended up being asleep for that, so it really sucks. And you know, thing is like I do understand up to some extent like why I fell asleep, because I have been like pushing it for a while to maintain this kind of sleep late but then also wake up early style. It's like honestly like low-key it is killing me slowly inside, and I know my body's like really not used to this. In Aussie, like the time isn't too bad now that I'm looking back at it. Like it's at 1:30, which honestly it's not that bad. I can still get a decent few hours of sleep, but here all my days, bro, like I can get maybe 4 hours if I'm lucky. This shit is actually frying me so badly. But yeah, it's actually brutal trading here, bro. It's like hardcore mode. Like it's so difficult to actually stay up to do the shit over time consistently. Next week will be like a bit of a shorter week because I'll be away for a camp, so I'll be trading until Wednesday, and I'll try to get the video out before I head up for camp. But yeah, after that I should be back to Aussie times, which I thank God for, because like holy moly, I can't keep trading here, I swear. It's too much. But otherwise I think that's about it for this week, so check out the Discord if you guys are interested. It's just a chill place for everybody to talk and grow, and everybody in there is pretty chill, so join up if you guys are keen. And yeah, so that's about it for this one, so I see you guys in the next video. See ya.